1-0 coming off a 5-3 victory against Lafayette. Tupelo is back in action Friday night at Saltillo. I'm Greg Ellis. This is Gridiron Takes, and Coach Harden, congratulations on opening the year with a win.
Thanks. It's good to be 1-0. It's really good to be 1-0 against a great football team. Tough game. Probably definitely, we talked about last week, one of the best games in the state of Mississippi. I think it lived up to it. It was a lot to talk about. First game to be done in the state of Mississippi on a Friday. Lowest scoring game in the state of Mississippi. But you walking away with a win, giving our young guys some confidence, is going to go a long way.
You said last week it's going to be a defensive showdown, and you were obviously not wrong about that.
you can expect it with both defenses. We're just blessed and happy to prevail.
This week, a little bit different opponent, Lee County rival Saltillo. What can you tell us about what kind of offense and defense to expect from them?
Well, number one, them as a team and as a program, we know we're going to get their best game. It's going to be their Super Bowl. Our guys have heard that all week. They could win this game and lose every other game, and it could be a successful year. I mean, it might be wrong for me to say on air, but it is true. So we know we're going to get their best game. They're going to get after our guys. If I'm them, I would too. And so a lot of incentive for them, incentive for our guys. They're a tough bunch of kids. They get after you. They're scrappy. They play really hard. And what they do offensively, defensively is something you don't see the norm of. They're air raid style offensively. Not something that they've kind of been in the past. 4 wide, 5 wide, like to chunk it about 80 to 90% of the game. And defensively, they're going to run a 3-3 stack and, send pressure here and there in different places and disguise things on the back end. So they're kind of, offensive defensively, similar to what you see with Mississippi State. Scheme-wise. So it's just great to get to go play this ball game. This game hasn't been played in a few years, and, we'll see what happens.
Last week, there were, for a 5-3 game, there were a lot of big plays in the game. And not just, obviously, defense played a phenomenal game, holding the Commodores to 8 yards in the second half. But your quarterbacks evolved, your receivers evolved. Your special teams really had some big plays. I thought, and correct me if I'm wrong, the turnaround came on the safety. You just saw, you had so much energy on the second half, and you could see it on both sidelines, the change in momentum.
Right. Well, we just needed a moment. We needed something. They've kind of had momentum the whole first half, and it was kind of like a lot of those Rocky movies that we talked about. How we took some punches the whole beginning of the fight, and at the end, we took advantage of throwing some punches. We took momentum right there with that safety, and we felt really good after that. We missed that first field goal, but I still felt really good. We barely missed it. We dropped a wide open touchdown, missed another touchdown, but I still felt good where we were. I think our kids were hungry for that moment. I'm proud of our guys. If we were in that situation the year before, or that scenario, I don't think we capitalized on it. And so that tells you, kind of how we've came as a program. And I'm just, like I said earlier, I'm just so glad we got to leave with a W.
We often hear you see the most improvement between game 1 and game 2. I don't know if that's cliche or not. You obviously have more experience with that than I do. Is there a lot of truth to that? There
is. I mean, and also too, you kind of use that term maybe in a loss.
Gotcha.
And in our scenario, we'll see. It just depends on how our guys take handling winning, Right now is a moment of this week, guys, how are we going to handle after we win a football game? It's always easy to handle yourself after a loss a certain way because, you just got to strap up your boots and get to work.
Right.
And, after you win a big game, are you going to be complacent? Are you going to be, are you going to be a little cocky or whatever? And so that's the biggest thing with our guys is it don't matter who we're playing. We talk about it. I don't matter if we're playing Alabama or Timbuktu.
Right.
we want to get after who it is. We're going to treat them all the same, and we want the result the same for everybody.
Well, while we're talking about biggest improvement, you did kind of have a half a game against DeSoto Central. What was the biggest improvement from that to the Lafayette game that you saw, and where do you feel like you need to go from Lafayette to Saltillo?
Our biggest thing is we've talked about the last is everybody keep complimenting each other. You know, defense complement offense, offense complement defense. Same thing with special teams. What I've been excited about is you've seen our special teams improve so much from last year to this year. That's been a vast difference. Last year our special teams was not good. That's all my fault. I didn't take enough initiative as a head coach on that. We have worked really hard on special teams in the off season this summer and this fall. I think our kids see more of the importance of it, and so that's been a big key. Obviously, you saw field position the other night on kickoffs and punts, and making long field goals. How that kind of changed the game, and we want to sell it. Our big thing is we want the whole team aspect. Not just offense and defense. Celebrating, everybody celebrating each other. We compete so hard against each other during the week, and that's what we did all fall camp. I mean, it was competing offense, defense. And so, now it's, now we got to have each other. And so that's the biggest thing from week to week is keep complimenting each other when we get those chances.
Obviously, the defense had a great game, but let's look at the offense. It was hard for you to get into a rhythm in the first half. I think, Coach, you only had 15 plays. You're not going to get into much of a rhythm with 15 plays. And then, obviously, in the second half, you found your rhythm. Talk about the play of your quarterbacks, how they progressed during the game.
Well, that tells you how good of a job our defense did Friday night. Defense had 40 plays first half. Offense had 15 plays. And I knew first half is going to be kind of a shell shock with 5 or 6 sophomores starting out there, a bunch of new faces. How are they? They're kind of feeling their way through the environment. Hey, it didn't help either. They're one of the best defenses in the state they were going against, and so they're kind of feel their way. And it was like, so second half is, I think halftime they kind of like, look, we can play with these guys. We're just as physical in them up front. Our running backs were like, hey, man, we can break a tackle. Our receivers like, look, we can get – it was just the self-confidence. They were putting their toe in the water first half. Second half's like, let's jump on in and play. Right. And that's what happened. And that test right there, I think it helps our offense get confidence going forward because, we're obviously clicking 4 quarters. We were driving and just stopping ourselves.
Right.
And that makes you feel really good when you're going against that caliber of a defense.
The 2 quarterback system works right now for you. Can you just kind of evaluate their play? Because obviously it's the first time for them in this situation.
It's hard to. I think everybody, that's been the big topic in Tupelo. And it's hard to evaluate that. I think they both played evenly. I think they both had their pros and cons of how they played. Obviously, you're going to see something similar going forward. Maybe one guy leaves another. I don't know if that'll happen or not. They both played good and bad at times, and it's really hard to evaluate who is ahead of who right now. Different competition going forward is going to change that. I'm just proud of both of them, the way they play, the way they carry themselves, the way they handle themselves with their teammates. And the way they communicate with each other. So, right now we're still at a standstill.
If poise plays a big factor in who plays, that's going to be tough because I thought they both showed a lot of poise.
They did. Poise in certain circumstances.
Right.
One of them might can handle poise in a pressure situation. One might can handle poise in a, non-pressure situation. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does.
But they're going to get more comfortable. We get some more guys back going forward. COVID's been kind of not good to us lately, and also some injuries. And so we get some guys on the offensive side of the ball in the next few weeks. They're going to help those guys have some weapons, and so that they'll be better.
One of the areas that really haven't had much depth with lately has been at your receiving core. But I thought KD really stood up, and I mean he had some clutch catches and really became a go-to guy.
Right, he did. He played good. I would obviously from Friday night was our best receiver, and you know he's got some moments where he shows up, and he got some moments where he don't. We're trying to get it where he shows up all the time. He combines with everybody else and all the guys that we got that has that opportunity to make plays. I mean, we'll be very special on offense. But yeah, I was very proud of him, how he stood in there hard. You know, I think those guys were I think our quarterbacks were obviously looking for him because they knew they could rely on him.
And one thing that I saw that stood out too that doesn't get a lot of attention, you guys, your conditioning. I mean, considering how hot and humid it was Friday night, the fourth quarter, you guys still had a lot in the tank.
Well, obviously playing that game helped us, and them not playing a jamboree.
Right.
To me, we could be conditioned a lot better. That's me. And I think each game we're going to be conditioned more and more and more. We're not going to be a team that's going to look the best condition-wise first game. We did have some guys that cramped. I think a lot of that is taking care of your body during the week, eating, sleeping, hydrating.
Right.
Like this week could surprise us. This week we could go out there and cramp a lot because it felt good yesterday. It's going to feel good today. It's supposed to feel good tomorrow. Not blazing heat like it was all last week and Friday night. And so those guys could, slack off right there, and I hope they don't. Me personally, we could be better conditioned, but, I guess from a fan's eye, I guess that's a positive.
I guess, what really brought that to my attention was late in the game when they had to throw the ball a lot, and you still got pressure on the quarterback, got a sack or two. Your DBs are right there with the receivers. Right. And, usually that's where the offense has the advantage because the defense is a little tired, but I didn't see that.
I think they decided, hey, we want to win this game. I better be tough right here. I guess they mentally told their body, I better not cramp right now. Right, so right. It worked.
Before we let you go, Saturday or this week is opening college football. You have a big game Friday night. Do you get to enjoy college football on Saturday?
Well, depends on what you call a normal year and a non-normal year. In years past, if Mississippi State's tailgating, I'm usually with my in-laws, my wife, and all of us. We have a pretty big tailgate. We usually set up and, get away from everything. Right. That's kind of our time with, me and my wife downtime right there and family. Last year, obviously, didn't really do much, I think, and also anytime you add to the family with children-wise, it gets a little bit harder. I think this Saturday, what we're going to do this Saturday is I'm going to go see my family in Houston, hang out with them. We're going to watch a lot of college football. Sometimes it's kind of fun to cut on the TV and you get 5 to 10 different great football games and you can flip back and forth. Age kind of changes things, but we'll be in the junction some, tailgating. Might be at some other college game due to some of our guys getting recruited and taking visits with them. But yeah, I like the best of both worlds. Like Saturday, I mean, it's the best time of the year. I'm sorry, everybody else. You can't argue it. It feels the best in the fall. Football on Friday nights and college football on Saturday. There's nothing better. There's nothing better.
It's a good time.
It is.
Coach, congratulations on the first win. Good luck Friday night at Saltillo, looking to go 2-0. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week for Gridiron Takes. I'm Greg Ellis with Coach Ty Harden.